Hi and welcome to another edition of Fully Booked on Bonkers. Bev's got a mouthful of wine. You'll be pleased to know that the sunburn, as you can see, is going slightly. I was looking like the singing detective a bit earlier this week where my nose was...
Yeah, that was particularly bad.
It was, yeah. I looked like some kind of had a lizard or something.
You look like you'd been like a cheese grater on your nose.
Aye, it wasn't pleasant. But anyway, it seems to be better today. But it goes quite quickly up in Scotland because it's been raining most of the week, so it's fine. Right, tonight, or today, or whenever you're watching this, we are doing a book by a guy called David M Barnett.
Yes.
Is that correct? Right. And the book is called No Mountain High Enough. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of David M Barnett because he's not an author I've heard of, but I do remember Bev reading this book because the way she was giggling away to herself and then tears and laughter and everything else. So I had to keep doing what you bloody reading. So David Barnett, he is a British journalist and he's an author based in the north of England. He writes features for a number of well-known publications such as The Guardian, Big Issue North and The Independent. And as a writer, he's written a number of short stories, and I think he's written nine novels,
Yeah.
9 books, including No Mountain High Enough, which Bev will do for us tonight. He also writes under the pen name Sax, that's S-A-X, okay, anyone getting confused, for writing short stories for 2 comics under that pen name. So take it away with David M Barnett and No Mountain High Enough.
Okay, I've got the cover, so I'll do that right now. So, there you go. 2 men. That'll be Don and Joe looking at the mountain, which will be Mount Snowdon. Anyway, this book is set in the first lockdown. So that was a time when, you know, people weren't really supposed to leave their homes unless you were an essential worker.
Okay. This is when we were living in France for the first lockdown.
Yeah, we had our own strict rules and regulations to adhere to.
Yes.
Anyway, there's 2 main characters in the book. There's Don, who's a 76-year-old man, and Joe, who is an 18-year-old. Don has very recently lost his wife, Angharad. And I'm sure some of you and people that you know will have experienced loss during the lockdowns and know how difficult and how isolating that.
Well, you're on your own.
That must have, yeah. So Don's on his own, grieving for his wife.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it Don?
Don.
Don.
Yeah, as in Donny,
Okay.
Donny Osmond, Don.
Just with your beautiful Edinburgh
my
colloquialism,
Scottish brogue.
it's coming across as Dawn.
It's
Dawn. It sounds like you're saying Dawn. Dawn.
Oh,
Right, Dawn.
okay.
Crack
Dawn.
on. Crack on that Dawn.
It's short for Donald, possibly Don. Okay. So Don is alone. He's grieving, and he's got a bit of a problem because not only is it lockdown, he doesn't have a car, and he needs a car, and he needs to drive to Wales, to the Welsh coast, because he promised Angharad that he would scatter her ashes in the sea off the coast, which is where they first met.
Pembrokeshire, is it? Pembrokeshire?
No, it's a
North
place
Coast?
called Porth Tigwll. I think
Okay.
it's Tigwll, but I don't
okay.
think it's a real place. I think it might be made up because I've not been able to find it.
Right,
Anyway,
okay.
so it's on the Welsh coast.
So he's got to somehow, he wants to
get Angharad's remains to the Welsh coast during lockdown.
Bearing in mind that they're in lockdown, he's not allowed to be going anywhere.
Yes,
Okay.
but there's a knock at the door.
Okay.
And Don goes to the door, and at the door is... Oh,
Did you knock at the door? It's like Jack and Ori, isn't it? Right, come on, crack on.
Okay, Joe is on the other side of the door, and his mum is an essential worker. She's a nurse, and she's encouraged her son to go around buying basic essentials and deliver them to the older people in their area, being good neighbours. So Joe turns up and he's got his wee bag of shopping, which he dutifully puts on the doorstep, knocks at the door, and then he goes back to the gate. Don opens the door, and through... I can't really describe it, but he entices Joe into his house, and once Joe's in the house, he uses an old gun that he just had lying around. No, that's explained. It is well explained in the story. And he convinces Joe that he must now drive Dawn and his wife's ashes to Wales so that
Now,
he can
where are they at
fulfill
this
his
point?
promise. We're in Leeds.
They're in Leeds,
Sorry,
right.
we're in
So
Leeds.
it's got to go from Leeds to...
Yes, it's quite a journey, but I mean, he's worked it all out. Dawn's got it all worked out. He's got the map. They've done the Google mapping, and they reckon that they can make it in a few hours.
Okay.
They can be there and back. If they leave at nightfall, they can be back before dawn, and no one will ever know what they did.
A ninja movement. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course it doesn't go to plan. Nothing ever does. And this book really is their journey, but not just their journey to do the deed, but also how Dawn and Angharad met many years before they became a couple. And that takes you back into Dawn's past, and he's got a pretty dodgy past because he used to be in a gang in the 60s, like Teddy Boys, so Draper suits and Beetle crushers, or brothel creepers, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, with a slick back hair, and he was up to all sorts, and he was number 2 to the gang leader for many years. And they had a number of successful heists or whatever the gang got up to, and they had a celebratory weekend in a Butlins on the Welsh coast.
Can't beat the Butlins.
Well, on the last night, Don takes himself off to the beach, and he's sitting there watching the waves in the moonlight, and he's just kind of contemplating life and everything. And a woman appears, and she may or may not have been a Ceffyl Dŵr. Now, this is a water...
A Ceffyl Dŵr?
Yes, it's a Welsh legend, and it's like a water nymph. It's kind of related to the Scottish myth of the Kelpies.
Okay.
So these are creatures, mythical creatures that live in the sea, but they may or may not be able to become human. So Angharad convinces Dawn on this night when they meet that this is what she is. So she's a mystical being, if you like. Mm-hmm. And Dawn is very taken with her. But of course he's got to go back and be gang member number 2, and he's got a wife and a family and stuff. So life goes on for Dawn. But then as time passes, he has a health issue which leads to him sort of retiring from the gang. And that doesn't particularly suit his wife, so his marriage sort of ends as well. But round about that time, Angharad comes back into his life, and it's kind of like they've just met, but they've known each other forever. It's that kind of, and their relationship is very romantic, but it's not soppy, and it's very mystical. And
so
she's a mystical being. Yes. So as their journey towards the Welsh coast.
Is he explaining this to?
Well, no, some of it he's telling Joe, but a lot of it he's sort of reminiscing for the reader. And of course Joe's on his own little journey as well, because he's on the cusp of going to university. He's got questions about himself, who he is as a person. He's a vegetarian, but that doesn't last long when the food runs out. So Dawn and Joe,
been there, done that.
76 years old and 18 years old, they are absolutely poles apart.
Right.
But so that lends a lot of comedy to their relationship, but it also is a very endearing relationship as well, as they get to know each other, and they bond over bulls, bacon rolls, and Baba Shanti. He's kind of left over from the hippie era, and it's just there's all these amazing things that happen, and I really hope that somebody picks this up and makes it into a movie, because it would be visually stunning. People kind of come out of the woodwork and help or try and thwart Dawn and Joe on their quest.
On their quest,
and
their journey.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You would just be like, well, how can this happen? But anyway, it does, and it all fits together, and it all comes together for the most amazing ending, where just when you think it's over, the Valkyrie arrive. Right, you know the Valkyrie, the flight of the Valkyrie, and it gives you the most absolute blinder of an ending, and it's one of the most uplifting and also moving books that I've read in a long time, and I really loved it. I can't recommend it more highly. It will make you laugh out loud, and it will it will put tears in your eyes, but it's not a soppy romance. It's
So
important
it's like
to say
tear you
that.
up and put you back together again. As a journey until you get the
Well,
final
it's very gentle and it's very funny. There's a lot of comedy in it, and
I
it's
remember
just
you laughing.
it's a fantastic story, and I can't sell it any more than I am. It's true. So No Mountain High Enough by David M Barnett.
Okay,
Fantastic. Please, somebody make it a movie.
Would you read any more of this based on that, or is it just you think that?
No, I will. But God, I've got so many books. There's so many fantastic authors. So many books that I've got to read that I keep picking things up on Kindle and adding them. I mean, if this was a pile of books, it would be.
We'd be moving house.
Yeah, we'd need to move house.
We need a bigger library.
I'm really grateful for Kindle, the Kindle app, because I can have all these books and not have to find room for them.
See, that's where you're different to me. So I can't do a book on
I
Kindle.
like both.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you want to take a punt on a new book, a new author, you get fantastic deals.
Yeah.
I'm not to be bigging up Amazon or anything, but a lot of people don't have a lot of money. Especially now.
Jeez,
and you can pick up a book. I picked up a book yesterday for free because the author is giving away their book for this weekend.
Was that the same author that was on Fully Booked?
No.
Oh, this is a different one.
No, this is a different one.
Okay.
It's an author that I've not come across before, and I just thought, no. Do you mean the author Tony, who is advertising today on Fully Booked? Yes, his book. It's on Fully Booked. The
Facebook
link.
page, yeah.
So you can pick that up for the next 4 days for free, and I took advantage of that. But I've picked up books for 99p, 79 pence. I mean, you can't go wrong. That's like charity shop prices.
Yeah.
And if you've never read of that author before, it's not a lot of financial investment.
No.
Especially for people who, for one reason or another, maybe can't make it to their library. But I do the borrow box at the library as well, and I borrow actual books from the library. So there's lots of ways to get your hands on new stories without having to spend a lot of money. Yeah.
I'm a bit of a technophobe. I don't do Kindle. I don't do. I even took social media and everything off my phone ages ago, so I'm completely social media free unless I fire the laptop up, which is only Monday to Friday. So if anybody sent me anything on Facebook like to do, I'm not going to see it till tomorrow. In fact, I probably won't see it till next. I'm off to Slovakia tomorrow for a week. Got to work over there, so I'll be back late Friday night. So I don't know what kind of state I'm going to be.
And I'm like, party every night. Me and the dogs.
Dogs on alarm, red alert. Come back. To be fair, whenever you have a party, you do tidy up.
I do. You don't know anything. You don't know half of what goes on here.
I probably don't. So apologies to the. I've still got books to read, but I'm still also reading a certain lady's manuscript as well because I've had a hectic week, so I'm still reading that, and I do hope to finish it while I go travelling to Slovakia.
You better.
I hope so. I hope to finish it because I want to get back. I've got Maureen Fisher's book. I've got Robert Clark books to read. I've got Tom Bowles'. I've got the sequel to I've got
welcome to my world.
Yeah, and I've got a day job, but that's fine. Right, well, listen, we hope you enjoyed that tonight. We've gone on, we've waffled on, etc. Be safe, be well, and
remember, good books deserve readers, and reviews are a great way of achieving that.
Exactly.
So if you've read a book that you've enjoyed, please leave a review.
Somewhere. Somebody
the authors will love you.
Yeah, and as I've said before to all those independent authors out there, we love to see your books. Don't stop advertising and posting them because there's some real gems out there coming out, and I've seen some more as well recently. Oh, that's another one I want to get. But then my TBR, but then I feel guilty because I haven't read them. It's one thing picking up the book and supporting the author, but you really got to get a review out there to say.
Yeah, you've got to read it.
Yeah, you've got to read it.
To make time to read it.
You've got to make the time, not find the time. Right. On that note, I'm going to get a telling off for not reading enough books. We're going to leave it there, and as long as I get back from Slovakia safely, we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
There might not be one next weekend because we've got a lawn to lay next weekend. We have got 70 square metres of grass, turf to lay. So we'll keep you posted.
I'm hoping it turns up whilst I'm away because then somebody can start laying it. Right, on that note, cheers everyone.
Cheers.
Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.